Year is 2021, and you're a turnkey rental property investor. What do you need to know as a turnkey investor to help you navigate this little crazy housing market thing we have going on in 2021? It's chaos, by the way. It's not even just crazy, it's absolute ridiculous chaos. So, what do you need to know? Here's the biggest thing. I started investing in turnkeys 10 years ago in 2011, which means I have seen everything, the ups and the downs of the market, because I started investing during the crash. And then we came out of the crash, things kind of stabilized out. And then we got to where we are today, which is a whole different market dynamic. So here's what I've seen over the last 10 years, which is contrary to what's happening today. And it's important for you to understand, which is the last 10 years as a turnkey investor, you had the leverage. You could hold them to a very high standard, them being the providers. The rehab is to a certain quality. The tenants are absolutely in place at the time of closing. Property management is absolutely in place at the time of closing. And if anything fell short, you could say, you need to fix that. And they most likely would. You had that leverage. Now, 2021, historically high inventory shortage. It's a problem. Many turnkey providers are flat out of inventory. Many providers don't have good stuff to offer. Buyer demand is through the roof. No pun intended. Actually, it was kind of intended. What does that mean? That means that all of the turnkey providers who actually have inventory have lines wrapped around the blocks of buyers begging to buy their properties. What does that do for the leverage shift? It means you, the buyer, no longer have the leverage. The providers do. And things are so crazy today. People will nearly buy a shack that's falling down. Not saying turnkey providers are offering that, nor should they, but that's kind of where we are. So if you want to get nitpicky and just like rage about the quality of what they're offering you or contest something that they're going to offer you, they don't really care because there's 50 buyers lined up behind you waving their checkbooks. Does that sound old? Waving their Venmo. I don't know. Like they're waving money at the provider saying, I'll take it. I'll take it. So they're not desperate for your business. Does that mean that you're going to get a terrible investment? No. Does that mean that you should settle for a terrible investment? No. But you should do your due diligence, verify it just as you would in any other time. And if something is just blatantly not up to par, don't settle for it by any means, and ask them like, hey, this roof only has a year left on it. You got to fix that. Like, yes, make that request. But in general, we don't have as much room to be picky like we would have been in the last 10 years. Because like I said, they'll skip over you and sell to the other 50 people who are begging for that property. So why I want you to know this is because if you get a chance to buy a turnkey rental property right now, tread lightly. Again, don't set yourself up to buy a bad property or to get a bad investment. That's not what I'm saying. But tread lightly because they will skip over you and go to the next guy. A lot of turnkey providers are deviating right now from the typical turnkey offering, which is the fully rehabbed house, no major CapEx items for 10 years, tenants in place at closing, property managers in place at closing. A lot of turnkey providers now are making you close on the property before the tenant's in place. Is that bad? I have a video that answers that question. I'll link to it below, so check that out. It's not my personal favorite, but again, I don't have the leverage anymore. So it's not preferred, and I dive into the reasons why in that video, so definitely go check it out. But they can do that now. I heard a turnkey provider recently say that they won't even let you get set up with property management until you close, which I have never heard of. Maybe the CapEx items aren't getting replaced. Again, don't let this tell you that you need to overpay for a property when it's falling apart or the roof is going to go bad or whatever, but do your due diligence, but be careful where you put the bar, because at this point, we currently don't have the leverage as the buyers. So just be cognizant that they're not going to lose business if you put your foot down too deep into the mud. So if this was helpful, or if you're like me and totally frustrated by this dynamic, hit the like button. Doesn't mean you like the facts. It means you like the video and you're on my team of this is frustrating. Welcome to 2021. The whole housing market's frustrating. Also hit that subscribe button, that red button down there. You see it? I don't even know which way I'm pointing. There's a red button down there. Make sure you've hit it and check out other videos, because also too, as time goes on and as these dynamics with Turnkey shift, I will do updated videos. This video is for 2021 in the midst of the housing chaos. I don't know what 2022 holds. I don't know what 2030 holds in terms of this dynamic, but for right now, we, the turnkey investors, are not the ones with the leverage, unfortunately.